All right, before we jump into today's episode, we wanted to go ahead and give a shout out to our patrons over at Patreon. Again, if you want to know more information about that, WisconsinDrunkenHistory.com, and you can click on the Patreon link.
Yeah, so today, again, we have Eric Sari, Andy Herbrandt, Lauren L., Rock the Green, Paul Campaneschi, Hanson Screen Printing, and our newest patron, Aperba.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And hey, you know, we obviously we don't make a ton of money here, and so the you know, these funds that kind of go for a lot of office supplies, you know, we do still print a couple things out. We do have to pay for some of the music that we feature on here, and that money obviously goes directly to the artists themselves. But then also, like you're saying too, we have a lot of server costs.
That's our main cost. I think the first year we didn't make anything, to be honest. We were like negatives a lot. So.
Honestly, we really appreciate it, and we appreciate anybody who listens and is able to support us in any fashion. Hey, welcome to the Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast. We are your hosts, Eric Sturgeon.
And I'm Russell Sari.
This podcast is about all things Wisconsin: history, music, culture, and beer. Although we don't often use strong language, the content is not intended for young audiences, so listener discretion is advised.
If you love the bluegrass music you hear in this intro, please check out Dang It's from Madison, Wisconsin by visiting their website, dang-its.com. Now on to the show.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of the Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast. This is your weekly dose of the Dairy State. We, of course, are your hosts. I am Eric.
And I'm Russ.
And today we are talking about a little thing pretty close to where we grew up. A neat little trolley kind of thing, East Troy Railroad and Museum. Really neat area. If you have an opportunity to take your kids out that way, it's a really cool, fun little ride.
I think we've mentioned them in a lot of episodes,
we have,
so I had to do the history on it.
It's a really cool little outing for the family. So one of our favorite places to visit for sure. And then obviously all the history there too is very it's fascinating and fun. So
yeah.
And as always, we have some great music from Brett Newski. This one is actually a relatively new song. It was just released a couple days ago, so we'll jump into that a little bit more later. We have another beer review for you, and of course, another infamous edition of How Many Locos You At? And we have another special guest interview, so stay tuned for that, of course, at the end of every episode, or just about every episode. As always, remember, if you could like, rate, review, subscribe, share, all that sort of business, it certainly helps get the word out about us and helps expand our reach as much as we possibly can. If you want, you can also be a special supporter or sponsor. We have our Patreon, which is kind of the main way that we kind of make, even a little bit of money towards anything. And recently, the top of the show, we've been kind of talking about it a little more and giving all of those individuals their much deserved shout outs as well. Yeah. WisconsinDrunkenHistory.com is where you can find all the information on that and where you can buy merchandise. So our TeePublic page is out there. We have a ton of different stuff with our logo on it. And if you're really enjoying this show and you really want to get that additional word of mouth, if you will, rocking our logo on your shirt or on a bag or on a koozie or whatever, it's just one extra way. And the stuff over there is priced really, really competitively. Plus, they constantly have these 35%
We always try to
offs.
announce them on our social media when we can,
but
we don't always catch them. But if you do, they always have a 35% off sale. Get them when they're lower. We don't need much money. We just want to see you guys rocking those bad boys.
I would rather have somebody just be wearing it and So all great things. As we mentioned, these are just always the little house cleaning things we do at the top of every show. Be sure to hit us up if you have any ideas or any bands you want to hear. Those are always amazing things.
Yeah, it was cool recently. I was out and about, and somebody recognized my voice, and they asked me if I was on this podcast. I'm like, yeah, it's like my side project. Just really cool, and I love meeting you guys. Hopefully we'll be doing more events now that kind of COVID's cleaning up a little bit here, so hopefully we'll get to see you out and about more. So
yeah, and honestly, if you have a chance too, if you follow us already on like Instagram or something, there's an account called Badgerland Legends. We have been talking to them over the past year and a half.
Oh yeah, since the beginning.
And they've given us a lot of great information. Plus, they've also reached out and said, hey, for future things, let's work together. And we,
of course,
we have that kind of lined up, and so you'll be hearing a little bit of that soon enough. And we also have an account that is called Go Mosquito, and they make a lot of really great custom like hats and other apparel, but I think it's mostly just their hats are amazing. And so I would suggest everybody go out there and kind of follow the Mosquito Hat Company and Apparel on Instagram. They are fantastic.
Yeah.
And then they also have just some really cool pictures on their Instagram. I love going through there that, sometimes it has nothing to do with their hats or apparel at all. And you just get a really good view of some, straight up Wisconsin scenery, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I can never get enough of that. So again, Go Mosquito. They are amazing. And then also Badgerland Legends. If you really want to know a little bit about the fun, occult, and odd things, they are a great account to follow.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and jump in on the history of the East Troy Electric Railroad / Milwaukee Electric Railway. And
they kind of both combine. So
yeah.
I tried to sum this up and make it kind of all incorporated, so you kind of can learn about the whole history of the Electric Railroad itself. And the line dates back to originally being built between 1890 and 1910 when it was part of the Milwaukee Electric Railroad and Light Company. The line from East Troy to Milwaukee, and it once totaled 385 miles of track connection between multi-interurban areas. And before we talk specifically about the East Troy trolley, let's go into a bit of history in the Milwaukee Electric Railroad and Light Company and how it got started. So the Milwaukee Electric Railway and Light Company, I'm going to call it T-MERL. It's kind of the shortened thing for just because I don't always say that a million times. It operated in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was the largest electric railway and electric utility system in Wisconsin, and combined several of the earlier horse cars, steam dummy, and streetcar lines into one system. Its Milwaukee streetcar lines soon ran on most major streets and served most of the area's cities, most of the interurban areas, including Appleton, Kenosha, Racine, and Port Washington, and Lakeside power plants. So they're all connected.
Right.
So the first electric streetcar in Milwaukee operated on Wells Street on April 3rd of 1890. The Waukesha Beach Railway was opened in June 25th of 1895. The first interurban ran between Milwaukee and Kenosha on June 1st of 1897. Other lines soon reached Watertown, Burlington, and East Troy, and in 1922, T-MERL acquired the Milwaukee Northern Railway and added their Milwaukee to Sheboygan interurban line system, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the nice thing is that you're connecting areas that have some pretty good manufacturing and able to get individuals from place to place too. I don't know if it was all. It wasn't just like what would you call that? Like traveling products and resources, but also people as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you're going to take a horse and buggy from Milwaukee to Sheboygan. That's a long travel.
That's not my preferred method.
Right. So you're taking the trolley down. And during the Great Depression, services on streetcars and interurban lines were replaced with buses abandoned or sold. And they ceased in World War II when gas and tires were rationed and defense works needed transportation. And after the war, riders returned to their automobiles and abandonment resumed. And the last streetcar to run in Milwaukee and the entire state operated on Wells Street on March 2nd of 1958. Electric locomotives continued operating at the power plants until the 1970s. The last two remaining sections of urban lines were the Hales Corners and Waukesha. They continued operation until June 30th of 1951 as part of the Milwaukee Rapid Transit and Speed Rail Company service. as it was essentially lost the remainder of its post-war ridership following the collision in Greenfield, Wisconsin that killed 8 people and injured around 40. And just the year before, there were plans to extend the Watertown line to Madison, the East Troy lines to Delavan, and the Burlington line to Lake Geneva. So they were going to connect in our neck of the woods as well.
Yeah.
However, none of these plans came to fruition. So let's get into the East Troy segment that we're talking about, the East Troy McGuanago segment.
Right, because this thing runs over to Elegant Farmer, which I know you're probably going to bring up on here as well.
And was purchased by the village of East Troy in 1939 when the remainder of the line to Hales Corners was abandoned. Under the terms of purchase, it was operated by Temerle Crew for 10 years. In 1949, Temerle declined to renew the agreement for another 10 years, and the village hired its own crew and operated the railroad from 1950 until 1985. This is when the railroad became the Municipality of East Troy, Wisconsin Railroad and adopted the reporting symbol METW. In 1985, the village approached the Wisconsin Trolley Museum and asked them to take over operations of the railroad, and they agreed to do so and moved their collection of trolleys to East Troy. Museum operations began over the line as early as 1967 when the Wisconsin Electric Railway Historical Society relocated their collection of electric railways from North Freedom, Wisconsin to East Troy. And they operated over the line using a trackage rights agreement in the village until 1984 when the trackage rights agreement ended and the Wisconsin Trolley Museum began to operate its line on the East Troy Electric Railroad. The Friends of East Troy Railroad Museum, Inc. purchased the line from the villages and also purchased the trolley collection from Paul Adverdung between 1995 and 2000 in stages. And today, the East Troy Railroad Museum currently operates a museum in just over 7 miles of track, offering rides on a weekly basis during the spring and fall seasons, including the Christmas season too. Now they have a Christmas ride, I believe, so you can go during Christmas and have like a dinner on there. Yep. I think they do have a Christmas one now as well. So it's spring through fall, but they also have like special ones like Christmas, and I think they have an Easter brunch one too, which is a little before spring. It might still be snowing a little bit at that time, especially in Wisconsin. But
oh yeah, hell yeah.
And the original substation building in East Troy, Wisconsin is used as a ticket office and museum, and visitors can purchase rides from Elegant Farmer Store at Phantom Woods and the Indian Park in McGuanago. A collection of approximately 30 pieces of electric railway equipment are kept in storage barns in downtown East Troy and at the Phantom Woods location. And the museum is a nonprofit educational corporation run by volunteers, and the substation is located at 2002 Church Street in East Troy and is on the National Historic Places Register.
Yes.
And it also has one of the Wisconsin historical markers right out in front, actually.
It does. Yep.
And it's today one of my favorite, as my little guy's favorite things is he is a huge Thomas the Tank Engine fan. And I fucking love trains. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I used to love...
You're definitely more of
I love trains. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, I used to watch Tracks Ahead with my grandpa on PBS.
Yep.
And I used to go to the trains museums all the time with my dad. I fucking love trains. Like, I'm like Bubbles. Trains. I'm like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys, dude. The Swayze. The Swayze Express.
Yeah.
Decent train.
And they got in some trouble for that.
I think they did, from Swayze.
It's a good episode,
from Patrick
though.
Swayze.
Yeah.
Actually. And, you know... I remember, I think a few years ago, it was in the news where somebody stole the sign out there. Remember?
Oh, wow.
They stole the trolley sign. It was in the news as a big deal, and I actually haven't heard what happened to the sign, if they ever got it back. It was the electric East Troy Electric Railway sign. It's like a red and white diamond, a 90-degree diamond.
Yeah.
And I remember that got stolen, and I don't know whatever happened to that. Was that your sister did that?
Yeah,
Your sister was in Troy, so she might have.
They definitely, yep.
Your sister's a bandito. I'm just kidding. No, but I don't think they ever found.
I was thinking maybe it was Janine.
Oh, my dad and Janine might
because they had the dog that was named Trolley.
Oh, there we go.
I'm starting to think.
Detective Sherlock Holmes,
and
over
then
here
she probably painted it green and gold. I'll bet you.
Put a Packers logo on it. But no, that's going to conclude the main segment. But I mean, do you have any memories going to the East Troy Trolley?
Not really particularly.
I don't know. I don't think you were as much of a train fan as I was.
Not really. You know,
I'm a fucking dork, dude. Like, I love mechanical engineering and like mechanics. So like that kind of shit just really interests me.
If trains were a big enough thing when we were kids, I have a feeling that at like 16 you would have probably hopped in a car, like a train car, and like just skipped town.
Yeah, you know, actually, before I became an engineer and went to school for engineering, my original career interest was to be a train engineer. Like, I really wanted to join the UP, the Union Pacific, and travel on a train, but plans kind of change. I have a family now. There's no way I could do that at this point in my life because you're on the road 100%. You could Casey Jones in it, cocaine in hand.
Casey Jones in it.
Cocaine in hand and fucking trucker speed and just sucking those down, staying up all night.
All great references. Grateful Dead, Monkey and the Engineer. That's a Train song. Yeah, I would say, I just love that the history is right there, kind of accessible to, anyone. I mean, East Troy is such a nice area to begin with.
It's small town feel.
Yeah, and amazing historic square. Plus, you have Alpine Valley Music Theater, which is really close to there, and then, such great companies have operated out of there. I guess most recently too, Buell.
Yeah, Buell was there. That's insane.
And Eric Buell actually bought the name of his company back from Harley, who Harley had almost completely abandoned and ruined the company.
Yeah.
And Eric Buell, I think, is going to be manufacturing again in East Troy.
Awesome.
And I think plans to release bikes in 2022 again. So.
But
I mean, East Troy is such a cool area, and when you're down here, again, there's a couple breweries that we've talked about on the show, so there's plenty to hit up, as well as the Railway Museum plus the Elegant Farmer.
And if you are a dork like myself, Kenosha does have a lot of old streetcars as well, and they still run some of them. So you can also go to Kenosha and check out the streetcar and streetcar history. And these are not your standard gauge either. They're not your standard gauge train lines because I think they're quarter gauge, if I remember right. They're a smaller line, and it's all electric, which is cool.
Yeah.
It just, to me, it's really fascinating. And I hope you guys found this episode fascinating. I love the East Troy Trolley Museum. I've been there multiple times.
Yeah. Go check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out when you're in the East Troy area. East Troy Brewery, too. Check it out while you're out there. And
Hell yeah.
That's going to conclude our main segment. Now on to the music segment.
All right, and as we had kind of talked about with the music segment, it is a very special one.
Yeah.
Brett Newski had just released this track, I believe was Friday, so just 2 days ago. Very, very special track, and very, very timely. Relevant. We're getting into the winter months now. This is going to be the time where seasonal depression kicks in, and Brett was kind enough to give us some additional information kind of regarding the whole idea of the song, where it came from, where was the influence, and as he writes, seasonal depression is something that's normal and it weighs on everybody, especially here in Wisconsin. We know it all too well. And as he was kind of sitting in his 2002 Toyota, aptly named Dennis after his grandpa, the song is "Seek Asylum from Myself," and it kind of dives into that battle of a battle against yourself and your emotions and your feelings, and the balance that you try to have and maintain when you don't get that sunlight that we all have throughout the spring and summer, that infuses our body with the vitamins and the ability to sort of be happy. And
especially us, with like the ones that work the 9 to 5 where you leave and it's dark, and you leave work and it's dark, right? You leave to work, it's dark, and like you just get no sunlight, and you feel that seclusion of winter, that cold creeping in, and it's pretty brutal. I know I suffer from seasonal depression really bad. Especially around January, February, when I just need to get out. Like I just can't take it anymore. It's great up until Christmas, because Christmas is like all these lights and it's bright, but it gets really dark after.
Yeah, you have the holidays that everybody kind of gets through. So we've got Thanksgiving coming up here in a couple weeks, and then we've got Christmas, as you just mentioned, and then right after Christmas you have that really quick stint of New Year's, and then that's it. And from New Year's until like March or April,
it's brutal.
It's just a sheltered
polar vortexes where you can't go outside, where you'll die. Like it's just really brutal. Yeah. And I suffer from it myself. I mean, I've since bought, like, I want to get one of those lights where they kind of like simulate the sunlight. I need to get one of those because I get depression so bad. And it's great that he wrote a song, in regards to the issues we all face in the wintertime here in Wisconsin. Yeah.
And, one of the things that he mentions as well that I thought was, very important is, we in the world of social media, again, you you almost feel pressured to appear happy, and and he he as well as other people have kind of said, like, it's totally normal to be sad and to be depressed and to kind of experience those emotions, and instead of hiding behind this ring, what are the ring lights that make you look better than instead of hiding behind all that stuff and editing the pictures and faking it completely, is go talk to somebody. The fact of the matter is, therapy is so readily available. You can do it right from the comfort of your own home, and do it, via like the video, chat format and stuff too. So, this song is absolutely incredible. Even like Brian Ritchie from the Violent Femmes, he wrote, I really like the sound and the way he is forcing the world to kind of contend with him, and this song is just so amazing. As all of Brett's stuff is. Brett Newski has a way with songwriting, and what I love is that he kind of keeps it real no matter what. And the music video actually for this was shot on a VHS camcorder in Mexico City. So if you have a chance, go ahead and check that out. But we are going to feature the song "Seek Asylum from Myself" from Brett Newski and his new album.
Inside a cabinet, your Jimmy in the lock-in. Won't you break up a key in my left brain? Please, I'm absorbing too much energy from people in the room. Wanna catch a feels, but the doctor gave me pills. Barometer is iffy under chemical sway. Worried that you'll hate me, friends might escape me. Circular thinking, toilet bowl in my brain. Asylum
All right. That was a hot track.
That was really
brand
good.
new, fresh off of the pressing, absolutely amazing. Also, Brett Newski has a show coming up here on the 19th, just a couple days from now, and that is at Anodyne Coffee Roastery there in the south side of Milwaukee, over in I believe they consider that to be Walker's Point. So if you have a chance, absolutely check it out. I believe you can get tickets. It's an Eventbrite thing. I would definitely just Google Brett Newski, and you will find probably the link to that and where you can buy tickets. That Anodyne Coffee Roastery is actually a really cool venue, kind of on the small side, but absolutely amazing. I love that it's intimate, and that you can actually kind of feel like you're a part of that show, and that the artist can really vibe off of your excitement and enthusiasm. So we also have now a brew review, and Russ, you're going to tell us a little bit about something from City Lights.
Yeah, so we get an awesome beer from City Lights Brewing Company, and it's the time of the year where things are getting a little colder, and you're going to need something maybe a little heavier, a ham in a can, if you will, and
a little higher octane, a little more
little
viscosity.
Thickness, yeah, a little 5W30 of the beer world. So today we're drinking the Coconut Porter from City Lights Brewing, coming in at 5.3% ABV. It's an American porter, obviously.
Yeah.
A high ranked one. When I found this, I'm like, I gotta try this, right?
Yeah, it's definitely it's one of the porters that you're going to see on most store shelves.
It's super good. And so originally, like when I first take the sip, I'm getting a chocolate coffee, like right up front.
Right.
Like you're getting that chocolate coffee, that like porter taste. I'm also getting some coconut flavor, a little bit of the coconut, and a little bit of maybe vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting just hints of the vanilla on it.
Yep.
Really low on the IBU scale. Obviously, it's not meant to be a bitter beer, so I'm guessing in the 20s on the IBU scale, or maybe lower.
Maybe even lower. Yeah, maybe in the teens.
And this one does feature Northern Brewer and Willamette hops. So these are kind of the ones that are used in porters, or maybe Fuggles and other things, like kind of those lower taste values that you're gonna get.
Was that your nickname in high school?
Lower values?
No, Fuggles.
Jesus Christ, Fuggles. Lower values. I was like, Jesus, that's fucking hard, dude. So
no, I was talking about Fuggles.
I was like,
but
Jesus Christ, you're fucking
that's
hard
cool.
today. But this one's great. It's one that's gonna like warm you up. It's high on the viscosity scale. Like Eric was saying, it's a little thicker. It pours like a dark brown. Little bit of carbonation to it, not over carbonated. Which when you get those like stouts, you're not gonna get that high.
Not
carbonation.
a lot of carbonation in stouts, porters. They're just not. They're not meant for that type,
But after a couple more sips here, I'm getting a little bit, maybe some nutty aspects of the. Jesus Christ, some nuts on my chin. I just dribbled on my chin too, so I got nuts on the chin too. No, but it's really good. It's a
good.
Dark.
It is a really good beer, and like you said, you're kind of getting those classic chocolatey, vanilla-y kind of flavors. The really cool thing about this one is that you also get that added bit of coconut. Which is nice.
Coconut, that coffee, that vanilla. Yeah. It's kind of like a dessert beer. Actually,
it is. And that actually is really funny because Third Space just recently released their. I mean, they were making a whole series of dessert beers for the last few weeks, last month, basically. And one of the ones that was just released, I think last weekend was, or maybe 2 weekends ago now, a German chocolate cake stout. So these ones are absolutely more that dessert style, like Russ said. Very, very thick, filling, and it kind of becomes that, that desired beer during this time.
And we've tried pretty hard to get these guys on the show, so hopefully they get on here soon, because I really do want to talk to them about their brewery a little more. And maybe find out some more information. We've tried reaching out a few times.
And hey,
we'd love to have you guys on.
And also, like, our fans, if you happen to be at City Lights or Eagle Park or something, the ones that we've tried to reach out to and we just haven't made contact with, let them know. Hey, Wisconsin Drunken History podcast, they do, interviews with brewery owners and brewers and stuff, and maybe you would like to be on.
I think we tried actually in the Menominee River Valley again as well, because they're kind of in that Menominee River Valley area.
Yeah.
And I actually, aren't they in the beer district as well? They serve beer in the beer district area, but do they have a facility out there? I don't think they do. I think it's in the Menominee River Valley, the actual brewery itself, I think.
The brewery and taproom and stuff is right there in the Menominee River Valley. They might have something. I mean, their beer is on tap, like, at most of those.
Downtown
venues.
Milwaukee for sure. And the beer district is like the beer district, right? So it's like, I'm sure they serve down there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, this was the coconut porter from City Lights Brewing. 5.3% ABV. You're not going to get racked. It's good flavored beer. Pairs well with a lot of things. I mean, you have a barbecued stuff, great meats, great Canadian bacon, great.
Right.
You know, it's hey, Canadian bacon there, guy. Holy smokes.
Yep. It's your classic.
And actually, we were just joking about the Canadians and like how, you know, like even the cops are friendly up there. We were talking about that at the the Menominee River Valley celebration. About I watched a video of a cop pulling over a murder. He like murdered some people. Was like, hey, get on the ground, bud. Like, dude, that doesn't happen in America. Like you're gonna get your ass kicked. Like get on the ground, and they just start bashing your skull in. But
yeah.
Like,
Canadians are friendly, so try out their bacon. It's very different from our bacon.
It's more like ham.
It's more like a ham steak.
It's like it's a chunk of ham.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, but yeah, again, check it out. Great beer. Highly recommended on our end.
Grab a seat, gather round, join us for a chat. How many locos you at?
All right, folks, you know what that means. It's time for How Many Locos You At? And do we got a good one for you today? It's an all-star DUI, also as a young trophy DUI.
Yeah,
if you will.
so Cy Young level DUI here.
MVP, if you will.
Yeah, and so generally we don't say names and stuff, but this is kind of a high-profile thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
From quite a while ago. This one actually was from 2013. But the Milwaukee Brewers ace, Giovanni Gallardo, was arrested and charged with drunk driving early Tuesday with a blood alcohol level of 0.22. I think his ERA was right around that, too, at the time.
That's like
he was
that's
a hell
like
of a
eight
pitcher.
brewskis. That's like 8 brewskis.
He definitely got it. So Gallardo, according to ESPN Wisconsin, was pulled over at 2:10 a.m., driving westbound on Interstate 94 near the Brewers' home field, then called Miller Park. And he was driving slowly and deviating lanes, which, I mean, what more of a red flag do you need as a Milwaukee County sheriff to pull somebody over? So he failed sobriety tests, obviously, with a level of 0.22. You're not going to be doing any sort of all-star performance out there.
No. In his photo, he looks like he just had a rough night. Like, he looks bad.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So we have, I think, enough information right here. We're talking about a high-profile athlete, somebody who's in very good shape. 0.22. It doesn't say if this is a first or anything like that.
It does say at the bottom, like, I think since 1998, he must have had another one at some point in his life.
Well, no, it just says that he in the first active Brewers player to be arrested on drinking charges since 1998.
Okay, and then
so I don't know if he's had anything prior to that or anything. Oh, it does actually say his ERA was 6.61.
Ooh.
So good ERA.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I agree.
6.61 for a starting pitcher is actually not terrible. But we're not going to talk about his pitching performances. We are going to talk more about his driving performances. So I guess he doesn't face any jail time because this is a first.
We got the .22. We got an MVP guy here. We got a Brew Crew DUI going on here. One of our own.
And so it says that he will receive citations for $300. That's for the operating while intoxicated.
Which isn't that bad, honestly.
Well, and this is 2013, so this is kind of right on par with what you could expect back then before they started changing the laws and the rules. And that was, done maybe 5 or 6 years after this. But it appears to be a first because there wasn't any jail time with it, and the citations are very low. So I'm assuming this is a first offense. And he also, I guess, for the level of intoxication, another $300 charge. So we're up to $600 there, and then looks like $178.80 for the lane deviation for regular traffic citation.
So he's probably leaving Miller Park, right? So do you think he was fucking drinking with Bernie in the dugout, dude?
He might have actually been tasting some brews up in the
sucking fridge bricks with Bernie and
Fridge
going
bricks.
down the slide with Bernie Brewer.
Yeah, so that's an absolute possibility. I can't rule that out.
Dude, who wouldn't get drunk and slide down that fucking thing? I would.
His mustache? I'd
Oh,
slide down
no.
his mustache.
Oh God, you'd mustache ride Bernie Brewer. Holy smokes!
So this is
Fucking his blonde mustache just going hard.
What are you
dude.
motorboating over there? Take it easy on that microphone. I know it's phallic shaped, but Jesus.
Oh God.
So yeah, I mean, this is definitely a high profile type DUI, something that we haven't had yet at this point.
He should have just passed on the dugout, to be honest.
We did have a mayor once.
Oh yeah, we did.
A former
yeah.
mayor, but
Yeah.
Giovanni Gallardo back in 2013. He did more than just pitch for the Brewers. He also fucking drank for him too, which is cool.
He just sucked a couple fridge bricks with Bernie in the dugout. and
Nothing more suitable than to be drunk as a Milwaukee Brewer.
Hey, the name says it all, bud.
Says it all.
So we got the level. We have his
Yeah.
age. We have his record, his ESPN record
His
official.
ESPN, yeah.
We have everything we need here.
We have his ERA, so
We have his ERA. We have MVP status.
he earned 0 runs on this night. He might have the runs the next day.
The beer shizzles. Oof.
So I think I've got an idea of where I want to put it.
Yeah, I think so. I think I do too. I mean, he's not quite the pass out level. I think it's okay. Let's go on 3.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, 14.
8. Oh,
Because he's deviating lanes, but he's not quite passed out, right? So I think, but we can meet in the middle. I'm good with meeting in the middle. I think like even a 12 local would be okay.
I was going to say
like
something 11.
Let's go 11
11
local.
probably seems fitting. The only reason why I went with 8 is just because I felt like after 2 Lokes, 2 cans of Lokes, you're definitely feeling good. You're buzzed, but definitely you might think you're good to get behind the wheel, and then when you get there, you're like,
Well, it's like,
hell, I need to drive slower.
it's like that standing and drinking. Then you sit down and you relax, and your body's like, fuck.
Oh, yep. That's when you realize just at what level you are. So
Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, I think 11 local is safe on this one. Let's hit 11 local. Hit the gavel, Eric. All right. Today we're here with Kyle Smith from Foxtown Brewing. How you doing?
I'm doing good this morning. How you guys doing?
Not too bad.
not bad. Great weather outside.
Yeah.
Well, it was a nice day yesterday to drink beer all day. So it was
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So we were going to ask, Foxtown Brewery, how did you guys get your start?
Foxtown Brewing started. The initial idea of it was 4 guys in a local homebrew club here in Cedarburg called the Brewligans.
Nice.
4
That's a
guys
cool
met
name.
during that homebrew club, like any good story, and they kind of bonded. They started making beer on their own, just the 4 of them out of the owner of Foxtown's garage. And then literally after 6 or 7 years of just brewing beer together, really R&Ding things, being very meticulous and very scrutinous on their own recipes, they really banged out a whole bunch of really good things. So then Tom Neiman, the owner of Foxtown, figured, it's about time, let's look into this, and then, pretty much open Foxtown. We've been open since November 6th of 2019, so we have our 2-year anniversary actually next weekend.
Nice.
So,
Very cool.
No.
And yet we're going to ask for our listeners that are going to stop up and see you, is there a brew, like a couple brews that are coming out that we need to try, like ASAP?
Or what are like your staples?
We have a core lineup. We pretty much have 12 beers on our draft lines that never change. Then another additional 12 that we rotate a whole bunch of fun stuff through on. So like our favorite things, I mean, we make a really good lager. I know lagers don't get the credit that they should pretty much anymore.
Definitely.
But traditional German and European ways of doing things, decoction mash, all sorts of fun things to make a lager a really good lager, and we're having a lot of fun with those. We also do some good hazy IPAs, some really fun, like I think the last thing we came up with, it's called Galactic Cash. It was Cashmere and Galaxy heavy hazy IPA that was done by Kelly Floyd, one of our brewers.
Oh, nice.
I know we have a nice winter warmer coming up. That'll be out the end of November. We got a Maple Bock that's coming up. That'll be fun. Our 2-year anniversary beer next weekend. It's a rye barrel rye stout that came in about 12.8. That'll be fun. That we have an anniversary party on the Saturday the 6th. So
Awesome. Yeah, we can't wait to make it up there. It's one of the breweries I have on my list to go and visit.
Yes. I've been up there once. We had actually gone to St. Paul Fish Company up there as well, and absolutely love the brews, and the 2-year anniversary sounds absolutely fantastic, in that beer too. So
yeah, I mean, in our tap room, I mean, the building itself, it's old, it's historic. It was originally built in 1857.
Yeah,
it was built as the Opitz Zimmerman Brewery.
Oh,
so
very
everything
cool.
in there is the original brick and mortar, original timber from the 1850s, and also below, we actually have 2 levels of lagering caves, original from the 1850s, that are in absolute pristine, gorgeous, just a beautiful condition. It's probably the coolest place to sit and drink a beer is inside the cave.
Absolutely.
And for our anniversary party next weekend, we're doing tours and all sorts of stuff through there, so everybody can get down there and see them, and just kind of. Yeah, really.
Wow.
That's the historical
awesome.
aspect. That's why we are where we are. It's just the history of that building.
That's awesome. And like you said, that would absolutely be the coolest place to sit and drink a beer is in the caves.
It just feels right. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, the cool thing about the caves, did the Zimmerman Brewery, did they do like lagering down in there to keep it cool, like in the summer times then?
Yeah, because they could stack. They could do blocks of ice from the rivers with straw, hay, and sawdust, and you would pack those caves during the spring and summer, and it'd actually be cold enough to lager and do your fermentation down there. So I mean,
Wow.
those caves were built for lagering beer. The original well that fed the breweries down there, the original ovens that fired the brew kettles is still down there, and like I said, it's in absolute pristine, beautiful condition, and we can't wait to start getting people through them.
Oh, wow.
Man.
I cannot wait to make it that way. It's been the one that's been on my list, and Eric actually reached out to you guys. I'm really excited to go and check it out.
I'm definitely all aboard on this one. I love it.
Like I said, I mean, the tap room, it's a full restaurant. It's all of our own food. I mean, hand ground burgers. All the sauces are made in house. 24 draft lines. Very unique space. Very beautiful space. Kind of hitting on all cylinders. It's just, all aspects of it. It's just a fun place to be.
Absolutely. I love it.
All right, so before we let you go, we got about 8 to 10 questions to ask you to find out how Wisconsin are you. You ready for these?
Yes, indeed.
All right, so the first one, have you ever tailgated at a Brewers, Packers, or a Badgers game? We have to ask this one.
Yes, I have. Both Badger games in-state and out-of-state for basketball and football. And who doesn't like tailgating at Lambeau? I'm actually taking my nephew to the Rams game this weekend of Thanksgiving, so I'm excited for that. And then, tailgating at, what will always be Miller Park to me has just always been a fun time.
Yeah, you and me both. It'll never change. It'll always be Miller Park.
It's awesome. Yeah, nothing compares to tailgating in Wisconsin at all. It's just the best time.
It's funny to see people from out of state who've never done it before that come and kind of witness it. It's definitely something special.
It is. So when it comes to around your area, is there a supper club you really enjoy going to see, or your favorite?
As far as like here, I live in Grafton. Supper clubs down here. I'm a big fan. Was going out to Hubertus to go to Johnny Manhattan's. That's my favorite place to go. Also, we have a place up in Wild Rose, Wisconsin, right in Waushara County there, and you can't go wrong with the Moose Inn or the Silvercrest up there.
Oh yeah.
Coming from Waushara County, have you ever been to the Dirty Ore?
The Dirty Ore?
Yeah, you got to check that one out. It's actually a pretty good place.
What town's that in?
It's like right outside of which is a little town in Waushara County called Rome. It's really small. It's like right over in that area.
Yeah, there's a lot of small towns in Waushara County.
Yeah, little no
no big ones. Just
it's all small little ones mostly. But and so the next one we have for you, when it comes to Summerfest, have you been there? And do you have a memorable band that you saw there, or one of your favorites?
Most memorable band ever for me in general is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Oh yeah.
I saw him at Summerfest quite often, and probably the best show that he did. Pearl Jam opened for Tom Petty that one year.
Yeah.
And then for the encore, Eddie Vedder came out, and it was Eddie Vedder and Tom Petty on stage just belting tunes out. And I mean, anybody who's ever been to a Tom Petty show at Summerfest, the whole place is singing. Everybody's up on their feet. I mean, it's just one of those special shows that you'll never forget.
It doesn't get much better than that. That's absolutely you're hitting it right on the head. It's amazing. And it's just, it's a shame that, we can't look forward to it anymore, but those memories and obviously all of those tunes that Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers recorded.
Classics.
I mean, we have all of that to remember and look back on. One of my favorite bands of all time.
That was the first CD I ever bought was Wildflowers by Tom Petty.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big tough beer drinking man. When that man died, I shed a tear that day, man.
Yeah,
it was. And not to get too off topic, but that was a crazy day. Just hearing the news that he had passed, but then all of a sudden it came out like, oh no, he didn't. He's just in like a coma in the hospital. And then it was like, it was like 20 hours of straight like,
I remember
did
that.
he, didn't he? I mean,
yeah. So then I stuffed myself into my first ever concert T-shirt. That was probably like 15 years old, and
yeah, I still rock a Damn the Torpedoes Tom Petty shirt. I recorded in it one time
actually,
here. Yeah. I love it. I love Tom Petty.
I think you spilled beer on
awesome.
it.
I did. I
Okay.
had a beer that was way overcarbonated and it got dumped all over my body.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Let them happen.
So this one I always love. It's one of my favorite questions. Foxtown Brewery. Is there a beer you recommend to prepare beer brats with? This is my favorite one because I always like to get a list of these.
So we have two ambers that we do. One's our brick oven amber. It's an amber ale. That's named after the caves, the oven downstairs that used to fire the brew kettles. But we also do, it's called 160 acre land beer. It's an amber lager. The lagering process on that just gives like an extra layer of flavor on that, and I think it is the perfect beer to go with brats, and it is actually the perfect beer to go with bourbon as well.
Awesome. And so the next question I got for you, a little more controversial. When it comes to up north Wisconsin, where do you consider the line to be?
Like I said, I mean, we were, my dad is a cop for the city of Milwaukee, so we were Milwaukee born and bred. Up north to us has always been Waushara County. We've had that place in Wild Rose since I was probably about 8 years old.
Yeah.
I know it's like Waushara County is pretty much dead nuts in the middle of the state.
Yeah.
But to me, that's up north. And I know I get a lot of people that say, that's not up north. You're not up north till you're in the woods and, blah, blah, blah. But
yeah,
that's up north to me. That's where my memories are. That's where put it this way, that's where my deer stand is. So that's up north to me.
And I think that's an important thing to point out is that the landmark of where is your hunting, like you said, your deer stand, or where's the the public grounds or maybe even the private grounds that you hunt on. I mean, that is going to be probably considered your up north,
Yeah. I mean, I've been hunting there. I built the stand I'm in was built in 2003. The first time I went up there for deer hunting I was 11 years old, so that was 27 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember.
So that will always be up north to me.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, definitely when I get north of the Dells on Highway 13, that was like my up north as a kid for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Controversial it may be, but at the same time,
we're from the South,
it's all perspective,
It's like arguing about a beer. You love it, I might not. That's your up north, it might not be mine. There's no reason to argue on anything. Just here to have fun and have a good time.
There's one thing that we can all agree on, and that's the Bears still suck.
Oh.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. No brainer on that one.
We were in Illinois yesterday. The second we crossed the Illinois state line, I'm like, I feel dirty where Bears crossed.
Yeah. Got to take a shower when you get home. I'm just kidding.
It stinks down here. I hate it.
So the last one we got for you, it's like the one we always ask, and obviously Foxtown Brewery, it's on our list. We'll be there soon. But when it comes to another brewery, it doesn't have to be in Wisconsin. But do you have a favorite brewery tour or a tap room that you visited that you'd recommend our listeners go and check out?
I'm trying to think. Favorite place. Honestly, like one of my favorite places to go. It's in Wapaka. It's called H.H. Hinder Brewing.
Oh.
It's literally nothing but ass jokes.
I love it already.
All the beers are butt related, like the bath, like it's just dumb, funny stuff on the walls. Everybody that you can just make jokes all day long, and they've heard 1,000 of them, and they just still enjoy making them with you and laughing. It's just a really good time.
One of the ones that we make pretty consistently on this show is the Rears and Sore Butts catalog.
From Sears and Roebucks?
whatever that was.
Yeah.
For some reason, we said that in one episode, and now all of a sudden we repeat it every once in a while.
It's just fun to like butt jokes are funny.
Yeah,
You kind of get a little childish when you make them.
I mean,
But, no, and then they're good people. They make good beer, and it's just a neat small place.
When you're out with your buddies, for some reason, always the farts and the crap stories always come out. Like it just always happens. Like you don't even think about it, and like someone just like, oh, hey, do you want to hear the story about me taking a crap?
Yeah,
not really, but
some may say it's oversharing, but I think it's perfect.
I think so too.
That does tend to happen when you go with your buddies. So that's why they're your buddies. So,
and everybody at Foxtown is family, so consider everybody honestly, your buddy.
I mean, Foxtown's been open it'll be 2 years. I came on board April 1st of 2019. I opened Foxtown as a general manager, moved over to the brewery side of things last November as the sales manager, and planning and brewery operations and that kind of stuff. But I mean, we got people that we hired 2 years ago. We're all still here. We're all a team. I mean, we got a really good crew of people putting a really good product out there. So
I love it.
I'm excited for when you guys come on out there. Feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah. And hey, one last question too, on this how scani are you kind of thing. And this will be kind of it may spark up some bad memories, and it's that time of year, but have you ever operated a snowblower?
Oh, have I? Oh, of course I have.
Yeah.
We bought our house here in Grafton last September. The first time the snow fell, it was about a foot. It was super heavy. I shoveled it all out by hand, and then I literally drove to Home Depot and bought myself a snowblower. Yeah. And now I got a 26-inch cut Toro.
Right on.
Oh, nice.
And it's just an animal. And now when it snows, I laugh, I grab a beer, and I just have some fun.
You move it instantly. It throws that thing like 50 feet,
Indeed it does. My neighbor's house got hit a couple times last year because of a little experience, but I think we'll be fine this year.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. I've got a 28-inch deluxe Aaron's that I do the same thing. I laugh when I walk out there.
Yeah. 2 feet of snow could be on the ground. You just put that thing in 2 and just let her go, and you got nothing to worry about. Just stand behind it and enjoy yourself.
Let it do the work.
But Kyle, thank you so much for your time, and we cannot wait to make it up there and visit Foxtown. And I'm hoping our listeners will come and see you too. And thank you so much for your time today.
Excellent, boys. Nice chatting with you. Enjoy your Sunday. And no Packer game today, so just steal people's candy and have some fun.
Yeah, there we go.
You bet.
All right, bud.
Bye.
Thanks.
Happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween. Bye.
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 All right, that concludes this episode of Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast.
If you enjoyed this vulgar display of Wisconsin, please like and subscribe on whatever streaming platform you prefer. And remember to hit the bell on YouTube to be notified when we release new content.
Also, if you have any suggestions or ideas for future episodes, please send us an email at widrunkenhistory@gmail.com or head over to our Facebook and Instagram pages.
Thanks again for listening, and remember, as always,
watch out for deer on your way home.